Our heavenly parent, the one who watches over us, let us hold your name sacred. Your reign come to be among us. Your will be done right here on earth just as it is in heaven. Give us today our... Can you go to the next slide? We have a problem. Give us today our Epiousian bread. Somewhere along the line, this word got translated as daily, and that translation got cast in amber. We are so used to it that we say it without thinking as we recite the Lord's Prayer. Give us today our Epiousian bread. That word does not mean daily. Greek has words for daily. That is not one of them. In fact, this word is used twice within all of the texts that we have of ancient Greek. Once in Luke, once in Matthew, both talking about this bread. And we have no idea what it actually means. Epi is the word for over, on top of, above. Ousian is the word for being, for substance, for what something is. So it might mean something like supersubstantial, which sounds like a big, complicated theological term that nobody wants to use in a prayer. Give us this day our supersubstantial bread. It doesn't work. It doesn't roll off the tongue. So it might mean something like really real. Really, truly real, the stuff that we need, the stuff that nourishes us, the stuff that keeps us alive, not just in body, but in soul. The bread of earth and the bread of heaven. The bread that we bake and the bread that God gives us today the bread that we need, the stuff that keeps us going, the things that keep us alive, the stuff that makes us thrive in body and in soul, in flesh and in spirit, on earth and in heaven, now and in the world to come, under the powers of sin and death and everything that makes life less, and in your reign of love, O God. Give us today what we need. You can go to the next slide. Back to the title. Nice and simple, but keep that Epiousian in your mind, that stuff that we need, the stuff that is really real, the stuff that keeps us alive, the stuff that makes us thrive. There is this idea. There is this idea in Judaism, in Christianity, in all sorts of religions all over the world, in all sorts of philosophies all over the world. It is an idea that anyone who goes outside and sits for a while and looks around seems to come up with. It is the idea that scarcity is an illusion. I don't mean your scarcity necessarily. When we don't have something, we know that we don't have something. And when we don't have something that we need, we know that we don't have something that we need, and that is not an illusion. If we don't have enough to eat, if we don't have a safe place to sleep, if we don't have social connection, we know it, and that is real. Our individual scarcity is real. Sometimes it is really real. Sometimes it is more real than we can stand. But scarcity in general, the idea that somehow there isn't enough in this world, that somehow God does not provide, that somehow it is natural and normal for some folks to not have enough food, and other folks to not have a safe place to sleep, and other folks to be lonely and alone. That's an illusion. The problem is not in the supply of what we need. The problem is in the distribution. There are folks in this world, I want to say a handful, but it's more than a handful. There are folks in this world who have so much that they could not spend it, they could not give it away, they could not get it down to nothing if they tried. There are people in this country who have enough to end hunger in this country, to end homelessness in this country. And I don't know how, but to end loneliness in this country. When we look at scarcity, when we look at folks not having enough, it is not because there is not enough, it is because somebody has too much. And I'm not trying to be a nag about that. It is a simple fact that most of us don't control how much we have. We like to think that we do. I work hard, so I have a bunch. But really, there are all sorts of systems, there are all sorts of structures that just kind of make it happen. I don't control how my retirement account does. I don't control what my paycheck is. I just did stuff and now I'm here. So it is not a question of, do I have too much? It is a question of, what am I going to do with that, knowing that other people do not have enough? I've prayed for what I need, and I have been given what I need and what others need. I have too much, they do not have enough. There is a nice, simple, easy solution. To take the extra and make sure it gets to the people to whom it really truly belongs, the folks who need it, the folks who are going to use it, the folks who have to have it. Give us today our daily bread. Give me enough today that I can live today, that I can survive today, that I can thrive today. And let your will be done right here on earth. Let me forgive other debts. Let me have my debts forgiven. Let me take what I have, that extra you have given me, that stuff that I cannot use, and share it with someone who does not have enough. Let me hold what you give me lightly. Let me distribute it freely. Let me share it joyfully. Because you have given enough and more than enough. There is enough and more than enough for everyone to have what they need to survive and to thrive. There is enough. I just have to do the things that I am praying for the strength to do. To let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. To be part of your reign right here in the world. To pay my debts to you by giving to others. We pray for our daily bread because we trust that God provides enough for today. And we pray for our daily bread again tomorrow because we trust that God will provide enough for tomorrow. and we keep going day after day because we trust that God provides day after day. And we trust that I can take all that God has given me, that I can use what I need, that I can share the rest. So that in this world where there is enough and more than enough, everyone can actually have enough and more than enough. Give me today my super substantial bread. The stuff that I need. The stuff that I need to survive. The stuff that I need to thrive. In body and in soul. In flesh and in spirit. In the world that is and in the world to come, under the powers of sin and death and everything that makes life less, and in your reign of love. Give me what I need. It's not just bread. Give me what I need. It is that opportunity, that chance, that reality of being connected to all of those other people to whom I am connected, whether I like it or not, whether I know it or not. We are interdependent. We rely on each other. Whether we are hoarding things up for ourselves or sharing them freely, so why not share freely? Why not take the extra and give it? Why not have an expansive idea of what the extra might be? Give me today that connection to other people. Give me today that connection to other souls. Give me today that unity that we find in you, where you are all in all, where we abide in you as one people, as, dare I say it, one body relying on one bread. Give me today what I need. And what I need more than anything, what I cannot do without, is that generosity, that connection, that ability to give and to receive, that ability to abide with my fellows, with these other humans, with all of creation, united in you. Give me that. Just for today, and tomorrow, and then keep going. And just maybe, I will find myself stepping out of the world that is and into the world that is to come. Stepping out from under the powers of sin and death and everything that makes life less, and into God's reign of love, into your reign of love. Maybe, just maybe, if I take enough for today, and rely on you, and we rely on each other for enough for tomorrow, maybe, just maybe, we will find our way to abiding in you, O God. And we will be one body. There is in this prayer the mystic depths of what Christ asks us to do. There is in this prayer that call to that thing that we can't quite get, that Jesus asks us to follow him to find. There is in this prayer that radical idea that is found in Judaism and Christianity and religions around the world, that is found in philosophies around the world, that is discovered by everyone who goes outside and sits down for a while and looks around. There is in this prayer that truth, that the scarcity that we fear, that the scarcity that we build our world around, that the scarcity that the powers of sin and death and everything that makes life less tell us is there, is an illusion, that there is enough and more than enough if we just share enough and more than enough. And if we do that, if we do that, just maybe, no. In fact, certainly, for Jesus tells us, we will step into God's reign of love because we will be loving each other. We will be abiding in love. And that means we will be abiding in God, and God will be abiding in us. And we will at last be in the world that God created. Thanks be to God.